I got.
The next guests have taken the art of rapping to music's highest levels as they join us to do their latest single, an absolute smash entitled
The magical messages. Sit down, let me hit you with this good soul sermon. Seems so urgent, the way my flow emerging. Niggas like to talk quick, but they slow learning. You forgot me like a pot on the stove burning. Dropping gems that can heal you, just like elixir. Freemasons can't erase Phoenix from the picture. Dope oratory, spit it by the gallon. Colors in my aura like aurora borealis. You gotta learn astrology, you can't ignore the will. Divine protection, all up in my force field. Spiritual war is real, they wanna draw the steel. I'm getting paper the same color as chlorophyll. I am the new decision like a quarter pill. It's all the same meaning, God's plan or Lord's will. Plant more seeds than in vitro. Frequency turned, my atoms on fleek mode. Thank you for coming out this evening. Nobody dropped jewels like we bring. Ever since the shorty wop, I could see things. Astrology to Kabbalah to the I Ching. Deep alchemy quotes, they hit your heart zone. I write galaxy notes, no smartphone. And if I'm doing alchemy, then why challenge me? Trollers, they watching like Malcolm on the balcony. But I'm winning, vindicated by the victory. Popping off like Peter with this rap ministry. Tell me your birthday, I gotta check the synastry. I gotta see how we can calibrate this energy. Chilling in my tie zone, no anarchy. Real soul, slide stone, where the family? Fourth house, Cancer moon, let it bless me. Feminine race, she Oshun sexy, 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 sexy.
Yo, Ty, yo, this groove right here make me feel like I'm dancing in the stars. This that mystical magic, they be wishing they had it. This is Joseph Uncut for the living fanatics. From the pineal gland crystal that sits in my attic. That God deity, DMT, DVD, holographic Blu-ray, sacred flower bouquet. Some say the clouds were too gray. My thoughts are pixie dust like baby powder on a new day. Sprinkled by the hidden hand, flowing in the ethers into spirits in your liquor stand. For the believers who don't go through the procedures, who can know without seeing when your omen is the gift of man. My skin was sewn from the hopes of all the dreamers. Alpha the theta, delta the beta, serenade your brainwaves, be living in fantasia. I'm not a shock when we giving the fan stages. Serpent mound pyramid sitting on grand masons. They can't ignore it, the vision's too damn major. It's mathematically visible, playing data like phones with no contract. We broke from the traps, the metaphysic God rap. Ain't no holding it back. These zombies under deep spells, wouldn't know if it's back. Spirals in the seashells, mark the road to get back. And this ain't the full meal, it is only a snack. We gon' see the fakes hate it when we in the same spaceship that y'all had. With my pulse low, you catch these speed lines. Feel my lines when I'm flowing like that. It's the law of attraction, see the flaws, got me laughing. You a magnet that repels, you don't only attract. See the magic in our spells, now in fashion you can yell. God, take their mind higher like I'm passing them the L. Vesica Pisces like we wrapped it in Chanel. Mother Nature is the holy zodiac that keeps our DNA braided so our soul is intact. Amethyst, tanzanite, purple stones in my lap. Full moon, white and jewelry be glowing like that. I broke the ice that had the avatar in it. I've never cast a spell that had no average bars in it. Jupiter conjunct, got no average Mars, get it? Turn into the hope, leave a savage's card dented with a pinky touch on a matchbox for the dollars. Now I'm the kid, straw man, paper dolls for paper dollars. How they control man, invisible strings. I ride from the sun with invincible wings. From a Conda, my every mantra's a heavenly opera. Peace to the new gods, the beast, clear truth gods. Smoke with the rasta sip, brew with the brujas. Zodiac shaman, holy math watching. Force through Saturn's rings like an astronaut boxing. Don't be fools, go to school, don't be hard heads. Come to me, call up Ty, get your chart read. Ace of spades, they amaze how the cards spread. Redesign, teach the blind what the stars said. The zodiac redesigned is the dark web. Got us living cage free like the farm eggs. Reattach the Godhead, not as the lead. You should pay to go to cosmic physics college instead. It's Kai Zodiac and titanium. Perform live on the stage in your mind stadium. Get your mind right, raise your vibranium. It's Chaldean design, sometimes Sabian. Listen, it's not a temporary trend. These are ancient secrets here, y'all gon' wake up in the end. To every rhyme that you wrote, you can go delete it. Two serpents, one mic like a double helix. Think it's the US, then poof, you in ancient Egypt. Poof, you in ancient Egypt. You in ancient Egypt.
I'd like to say it's all for nice to have you with us. We'd like to come back real soon and do some more stuff.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. no place like home.
I'm so ready to get back home and out this bad dream. They won't believe it when I tell them all the things I've seen. And when we finally meet the Wiz, he better not be mean, or I'll do him like that witch and her sister Eveline. Oh, he wanna try me? Wanna see if I'm lying? Guaranteed there'll be more than some monkeys flying. And to be quite honest, I'm tired of y'all dudes with all your issues that have me so confused. And at first, I was like, hold up, wait, are y'all a sign that indicates the next guy that wants to date? I really hope the Wiz can solve all our problems, but do you think he can turn my shoes into red bottoms? I'm just saying, I think that'll be kinda dope if he, never mind.
Hey, I need some brain. Wait, I need a brain. You'll find I'll be saying some shit if you get what I'm saying. She think I'm dumb and I'm playing, but I'll be serious. Boo, is that a poodle under your skirt? I'm curious. Yeah, I used to scare crows. Now I attract crows. All these birds love me from my pimp hat to my Mac clothes. I'm caught up on the crossroads. Soon as I get down, I'm smacking the crow. I'm short-tempered, hard to reason since he stole my mind. When I see the Wiz, I'm kicking ass, pretending the lion. Dorothy and Toto, up and down the yellow bricks. If I only had a brain, I can lie, that's irrelevant.
Emeralds? The whole city? Oh yeah, let's get it. Yo, where the wizard at? Fuck the chitter chat, it's a fact he ain't got no heart. It's click clack, back it up, I'm a born villain, not opposed to skullduggery. My chrome eliminate fuckery. That's the problem. Wherever I go, they think I wanna rob them. They kinda right though. Whatever, man, it's that clever man. I got to see to get the heart to stop this shit. Tired of ducking cops and shit. Get the shovels out on the yellow brick road. Pack the chrome, invade the wizard in the zip code. And if that damn wizard don't see it all the way, then we committing that strong arm robbery.
Lions and tigers and bears?
Oh my.
Somebody screaming lions and tigers and bears coming. I see a Tim and a scarecrow and a girl in my coven. I should get 10 toes down and pretend that I'm thugging. That's what I wanted was, but exactly it wasn't. I supposed to be king of the forest, it's my prison. I'm a living oxymoron, no more I'm living. I was born a lion, inside I feel like a kitten. My exterior ferocious, my inside isn't. My roar's me crying, defense mechanism would count sheep to go to sleep, but I'm scared of them. If I only had the nerve, I put fear in them. I'm seeking the wizard, that's my final decision.
Yeah.
What it do?
We in the building. Cinemagical. Peace to the God, okay? Peace to the God, okay? We here in the building on Do Not Radio. Something new. We always striving to do something new, and every time I strive to do something new, I can't do it without her newness. You understand what I'm saying? I can't do it without her newness. I need her newness blessing in whatever newness we got going on. This is the Gregorian Switch 2023.
Yeah, we in there.
We got, and the gods is here. You understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna be dealing with some God energy this whole God year. So if y'all already tired of seeing Imah, y'all better continue to get some naps in or something, because you know what I'm saying.
It's a 7 years. Only right. Only right that we get into the spiritual, metaphysical.
Right? This ill spiritual, meta lyrical.
Okay. Bars.
You know what I'm saying? Bars.
Some light for him over there.
Right. I guess for some time now, I've been telling stories via movies. So for this time right here, we're getting into the magic with the movies. Normally I got a little breakdown with the decoding of the characters and the story, but we got the magical mastermind in here to give us some ancestral magic in this place. You see what I'm saying? So she got a message and her ancestors got some bars to share. So I'm gonna just caveat today and welcome back to the platform, the phenomenal Master God in the building, the phenomenal Master God, the lyrical Varaja, okay? Imah X in the building.
Hey, gratitude. I'm always grateful to grace the platform and share space and hold space for real discussions and real conversations and beautiful energy. You know what I'm saying? That's what we here for. That's literally what we here for. Build. You know what I'm saying? So I just saw the movie today. So like, and by today I mean like I finished it at 7 p.m. So it's very, very fresh in my mind. And so a little background on me. I be repping that big Oya warrior female energy. So I got my whole entire life whilst watching the movie. I understand from the perspectives of individuals who had beef with it. It definitely was a little like black man versus black woman. That was definitely an undercurrent, you know what I'm saying? And I could understand brothers being upset because we don't really get movies in general where black people get to really rah in their warrior energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, most stories that revolve around black men in war is usually them like, you know, like some Band of Brothers type shit, and it's like one black dude, or it's like some Vietnam type shit. It's usually like us being a part of somebody else's military. And even if Bull is out there kicking ass and taking names, we've never had a movie where we've gotten to see black men in that light. And yeah, I can honestly say the black man, and I got to see that movie with the black women kicking ass like that, I'd have been a little bit upset too. I'd have been like, where's mine? You know, I totally do. But the 7-year-old little girl in me that was Foxy Cleopatra in my fucking karate, you know what I'm saying, skit when I was at Freedom Theater, and I took the karate elective and we did the black exploitation films, and I had like the fake afro and I got to come out and karate chop bad guys. That little girl got her whole life in that movie because I saw fucking an alternate reality version of my life. Because on God, I have never seen a movie where I was just like, I would like to try. I would like to see. I would like to join. Like, they was in there with the training and shit, and like the different levels of the training. And I was sitting there just like mother's milk. So just to get that out of the way, I will admit my own personal, you know, somewhat bias. I am going to be objective in my assessment, but y'all have to know that, like, I wanted to be everybody in that movie. I wanted to be every woman in that movie for different reasons. And we'll get into some of that when we talk about character development and whatnot. But I just want to start it off. Did you have a favorite overall moment in the movie? Because I'm going to speak on mine, but I want to hear yours. You know what I'm saying? If you had one.
I had several. Several.
Give me your top three.
I had several. Okay.
Give me your top.
I had several. I had several upon several. There was moments. There was moments with dialogue, and then there was bigger moments with no dialogue. It was just shit getting done. Like, you see what I'm saying? It was like shit getting done. I was like, ooh, like the sister that had the braids. You know what I'm saying? Shorty at the beginning, the little sister that was with her, she said, "I'll never be the victim again." You know what I'm saying? She just like, she just said, I was like, ooh.
I'm gonna be the hunter, not the prey.
I'm gonna be the hunter, yeah, I'm gonna be the hunter, not the prey again. You understand? Like, yeah, she said that. I was like,
if you can't respect that, the whole perspective is whack.
Right. I jumped ahead, but there's the beginning scene, the first scene.
Yo, when they pop out that grass, bruh, like velociraptors, I was like, oh, this about to be good.
The director said when she read the script and she said, they come up out of the grass, she said, I have to find a way to get this on the screen.
Yeah, because most things in the screenplay don't actually make the movie. Like, they be chopping heavy, but that needed to be in there. That shit was
Right.
hella
Right.
it was
To
such a
be able.
no, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. It was such a dope. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was such a dope way to introduce them as warriors. And then also the fight choreography. Who are these new people choreographing these fight scenes in these movies? Because it was like it was beautiful. I was just like I shed like silent thug tears. I was just like, oh, so pretty. Did you see how she just flipped around and did
Yes. Yes.
thug tears? So my number one, I had lots of moments as well, and I'm gonna get into some of them. But my number one,
Like, I don't want to all the way jump all the way through the movie, but I was like, it was moments upon moments upon moments.
around. I don't care. I'm finna this. Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you are like me and haven't seen the movie yet or recently, it's gonna be some spoilers in this piece. We finna talk about it. Because the scene that I was about to do is like very much near the end, and I'm gonna give it all away. But maybe I'll save that. Maybe I'll let you do yours, you know what I'm saying, and we'll save mine for the end since it's more towards the end.
I'm sure it's the same. I'm sure it's the same. I'm sure it's identical. I'm sure that to me was like one of the greatest scenes in the movie. Like, if all I ever saw was that, I would be good. I'd be like, oh, no doubt. But so tell me about the Woman King, and they just showed me that scene. I'll be like,
solid, yeah, like Eagle Roper, like, you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
Give it a thumbs up. You know what I'm saying. So certain aspects, the cinematography was gorgeous, and I liked that it wasn't as cartoonish as the new Coming to America or even the Black Panther films, because those are like superhero films. They're more fantastical and they get into kind of Afrofuturism. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm all about it. The person who did costume designs for the second Coming to America, I was in there like, I would rock that. I need that in my closet. Like, the way that they blended the fashions and everything was tough, but just the traditional African prints, like, you know what I'm saying, they was rocking like real authentic stuff. And then just like, some of the symbolisms with the costumes as far as like, color theory, like when they started out in training, they was in there with the red blankets on a root chakra, started a journey type of deal. And then by the end, Shorty was adorned in the purple once she got, in her coronated bag. So it was a little bit of a chakra story in there as well. And cinematography was gorgeous. Like, just some of the shots that they had, just like, sun coming over the hills and certain things like that. Like, just like the first shot where they show you the homie and they show you that road is like its own whole section of the movie. Like, whenever you see it now, you like, oh, they near the homie. Like, that's the road that be in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So how they just were able to craft that. And also just certain things about how they alluded to, like, oh yeah, she found a horseshoe and lifted it up with the sword and was like, horses must be these niggas. You know what I'm saying? And you see some ride up on horses and you're like, no, that's who they are. Because you're like, oh, that's them niggas. Because they be the niggas on horse. So like, I liked that a lot of the storytelling was visual. I liked that it wasn't a lot of explaining shit. It was niggas doing shit and very little dialogue. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was very much a be about it, not talk about it type of movie. I never noticed how wordsy like movies typically are, like white movies. They be just talking. It'd be like whole scenes where niggas are just sitting in a room talking for like 15 minutes and you just be like, huh, Okay, yeah, I understand everything that's happening because y'all just explained it. But it's a different experience cinematically when they're not like spoon feeding you the plot through like the dialogue, where it's much more kinetic and felt. So like, I thought that that was excellent and also true to African culture and spirituality, because like, you know, a lot of the things and like, you know, it's proverbs and stuff like that, but a lot of people be a few words and stuff like in certain cultures and stuff because it don't be a whole bunch. What are we talking about? What's understood doesn't have to be explained, and a lot of that is just filling the air and empty space and being uncomfortable with silence or your own thoughts and shit. So like, I loved how silence was cultivated as like a, a the energy of the script. Like some of the breaks in dialogue were equally as powerful as the things being said, and it allowed the actors to like really, really shine through. Yeah. So to get into characters, they did a good job of getting you to identify with them like from the beginning, which is like a big thing in terms of movies. And they did a good job of like drawing the audience in. It's like the first thing is go on a rescue mission, and then you see the girl crying over the body, and she's like, "They sold my mom, they sold my brothers, they sold everybody." And it's like, "Oh yeah, well, how could you not like be on the side of the niggas rescuing people from this, as opposed to?" So like at that point, the battle line was kind of drawn, because I almost and the fact that, you know, the slavers were like, they were like, we only doing this because like y'all be doing it to us. So it was kind of like a tit for tat type of thing. But I appreciated the fact, whether it was historically accurate or not, that at least in the movie they tried to make like, you know, the warriors be like, no, like we shouldn't prosper this way. Like we can get it other ways, like Mother Nature provides, like, which I thought was a very divine feminine perspective. Like, no, dog, we got this palm oil, like we don't need to sell people, like we got other shit that's of value. um and we might not be able to live as lavish as this, but at least our souls will be like in a pure space. I like when the shorty who was like the priestess chick Mensa, when she was like, you know, like like Ephies for good, like the Ephies of the light, like, you know, the ancestors don't like this shit. I respected that a lot, and I thought that that was like a very powerful moment, especially since she was kind of like low key, high key, the spiritual like center of the movie, at least as far as we knew, because when they did like, you know, the ceremony with the blood oath and everything, and she was the one orchestrating it and all of this stuff. So yeah, it was some good shit in there. It was some good shit in there. I could have done with less black people killing black people. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily a thing that I enjoy seeing. It's not a thing that I enjoy seeing at all. But good fight scenes are good fight scenes, and good fight choreography is good fight choreography. And like, niggas be having beef with other niggas. Like, let's not act like it wasn't tribal warfare. Like, you know what I'm saying? I respected the fact that it was portrayed in a very much like how indigenous people used to do war. It's like, yeah, we're gonna fight, and then like whoever lose, like, you know what I'm saying, y'all leave. If y'all can get away, if y'all can't get away, we got some prisoners. Maybe we could trade them, maybe not. Like, it wasn't total warfare like Europeans like to do, like that whole Sherman march to the sea, like salt the earth so nothing grows. It's like, well, we all could use this land. Like, you just gonna fuck it up for generations? Some very short-sighted shit. So I appreciated that they did have a certain respect for human life, and that the generals weren't just like, we're gonna fight till the last man, even if it's hopeless. And they just send in waves and waves of niggas to their death. Like in fucking trench warfare and other dumbass ways that Europeans were like, yes, let's stand in a line and you take a turn and you'll shoot at us. And then we'll take a turn and we'll shoot at you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas even fight in straight lines. But I digress. I digress. Yeah. So, like I said, the blood oath scene was super duper powerful. Lots of the scenes with the call and responses and the chanting and so forth were super powerful. I could have done with some more drums. Now that I think about it, a lot of their acoustics was more like, and maybe they weren't a drum people. Like, not everybody in Africa, you know what I'm saying, has the drum as such an intricate part of their culture. But maybe they weren't a drum people. But I could have done with more drums. That would probably be my.
They definitely were a drum people, and they were in Tanzania for most of the film. So this is where I get to add the background stuff. They were in Tanzania, they were in South Africa for most of the film. And the beginning part of the film, the sister who is the main character aside from Viola, they were in her province. So not only were they in South Africa in her homeland, they were in her province. And there were days where they thought they weren't going to be able to film or shoot because of the rain and the elements. And they were drumming and singing, and the rain went away. So now look at what we know rain to truly be in the space right there, and the redemption of the land. This is Zulu land. You understand what I'm saying? This is Zulu land where this is happening at. And that redemption against servitude, this redemption against bondage, the redemption, it makes all of the sense in the world. And the drumming is represented not just in the drumming, but in the heartbeat, in the soul space, in the spiritual space of the people. You see what I'm saying? So these are like the background. I think it was so much that they had to find a way to be like, hey, now we wouldn't be able to shoot no movie if we was just drumming the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Because the drum scenes were very, very intense. Very intense, those scenes. You see what I'm saying? So your heartbeat, you were connected, and you were pulled so many different kinds of ways from an emotional and the psycho-spiritual space that you had to come out of it. You see what I'm saying? So what you said about taking a stand for character development, we went from being them little children on the side of the road looking away to being snatched up into the world. Like, boom, like this is what it is. Like, you ain't got to look away behind the gate. You see what I'm saying? So we went behind the veil on the other side in the space of what makes them who they are. You see what I'm saying? And the opportunities that's associated with that. Look, I ain't want to do too much. I'm just caveating. I'm just caveating over here.
It was a nice addition. Yeah, no, and like I did enjoy the scenes that did involve drumming. I enjoyed, like I said, the call and response. I enjoyed that they were doing a lot of like pounding chest, stomping feet like that, you know, like you were saying, connecting with the heart chakra and all of that. And also just I enjoyed the fact that they danced, like that the women also danced. I feel like I was expecting it to be way less feminine of a movie and deal with way less aspects of the divine feminine from how I heard people talking about it. From like the way that brothers were pushing back, it seemed like, oh, they were portraying them as like super duper masculine and like this, that, and the third. But I thought that there was elements of femininity interlaced and interwoven to prove that like, no, like they were still women. Like they didn't think they were men. They didn't want to be men. That type of deal. So I like I said, I enjoyed the fact that you know, when they was in their downtime, they was just like dancing and doing like the things that chicks do. It was some chicks sitting around doing hair, some chicks sitting around busting it up, like some chicks over there practicing the dance moves. And I liked that it was that nuance, because femininity is that nuance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are lots of different things, and not everybody's a dancer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody's, but I like that they allowed for kind of the full spectrum of femininity. I also liked, you know, some of the ways that they dealt with womb trauma as a aspect of the healing of the divine feminine archetype in general, because like that's something that we're acknowledging more these days, but you know, people back in the day didn't have no frame of reference for. But like, when you understand what wombs are as far as like physical portals and also spiritual energetic portals, like, you know what I'm saying, like there was a symbolic rectification and like a forgiving of like, in terms of like all the children of, you know, rape, all the children of sexual assault and everything, to be like, hey, like, you're still loved, you're still of value, even though how you got here was on some fuck shit. And like, I feel like that's an element of healing that the Black community needs, because there are tons of people and dynamics that are the products of somebody being touched when they was young and stuff like that. And I really appreciated that they kind of, even though it wasn't the main aspect, they did touch on like her being like, yo, I was running from my younger self, like I was suppressing my divine feminine, I was suppressing my inner child. But she was like, but my divine feminine and my inner child said, go get my fucking baby. So I'm finna go get my fucking baby. I already done left the baby once. We not finna do this shit again. We not finna be remaking mistakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that that was an ancestral, like that was a stance that she decided to take, probably for all the women who never could, who never made it out of those situations, who never, you know, got to reconnect with their children and everything. And it's like, I thought that that aspect of it was really, really beautiful and underrated, the mother daughter dynamic. And then the girl having to rectify with like, you know, being given up, and then also like her own trauma, as far as like, yo, half of me is a rape, like my dad was a rapist, like, you know what I'm saying, like he raped, like for her to have to sit with that in the scene where they're at the ancestral shrine and she's like, I'm sorry, like, and she's like, you didn't do it, like that was, as a Black woman, that was super duper cathartic in terms of like the mother wounds and the mother wounds of the divine feminine in general, because a lot of us are products, for better or for worse, of, you know, slave masters raping people, and then like people still had to love those babies, people still had to care for those babies. And I thought that was super duper powerful that they managed to kind of include that as a nuance in it. I feel like, once again, that was another element of being like, no, they're women. Like, at the end of the day, this is a movie about women, like not people who want to be men, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a movie about women and kind of their struggles and like the things that they go through. Because, you know, and also I appreciated that it wasn't a white savior this time, and we've made progress. It was a mulatto savior. I was like, I can't deal with this John Smith shit. At least he was, and it was matrilineally, like, you know what I'm saying? He was matrilineally from the tribe. So he was all the way tapped in, but still. But I also appreciate that it didn't become like their love story. But I also appreciated that he got his redemption. You know what I'm saying? Like, he rectified his own internal struggle with his identity, because he was very much towing the line, like for much of the movie, like pussyfooting around, like, you know what I'm saying, like dip a toe here.
Of the land. right? It's the story of the land. It was something about coming back home. You see what I'm saying? So even for the diaspora coming back home too at the same time, you know, coming back in the space tainted, coming back into the space jaded, even from her, and even the another undertone of the film to where it's like, oh, okay, y'all are outsiders. Like, yo, I was the outsider, son. Fuck is you like? Fuck is you saying? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, sis was like, you gonna tell me I don't belong here? You know what I mean? So it's like all of those and those opportunities. It's like, okay, you here. This is what it costs. You can stay or you can go. Nobody was forced to stay. If you stayed, you stayed of your own free will and accord. You
Yeah,
see what I'm
because
saying?
slaves don't make good soldiers. That's why conscription doesn't really work as a war tactic. It's why the wars that they've been drafting niggas for, they be out here fucking losing. Cause that's not how that shit works. You can't make people spill their blood without their consent. That's a sacrifice. That's not the same thing. As that's not really a war. That's you throwing niggas at people and being like, eventually these will either run out of niggas or they'll give up. You know what I'm saying? But it's different.
Unless they believe that this is worth fighting for. That's the only.
That shit does something different. I appreciated the king as a character. I was also expecting him to be a little like of a bitch ass nigga. Not because of I was expecting that, but just because of the way that everybody was like, oh, the attack on the masculine. And like I could see like seeing niggas getting like flipped by chicks and shit can be a bit emasculating. But it's some chicks out here who can whoop the average nigga's ass, and they don't seem to take that into account. Like these weren't just like everyday women, like they trained every day for hours a day. If a shorty did that, and you don't do no type of fight training, nigga, she will whoop your ass. And that's like, I guess like the male ego to a certain extent can't handle that because they like, no, because I'm just stronger and shit. And I'm like, but like, I thought the king's character was very wise and controlled and powerful in his embodiment. Like the way that he didn't let the general rile him and certain stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, I see you. He was like, yeah, this new general, he wants to fucking get us all like out of sorts. We not finna play these games with him. He can make all the demands he wants. We gonna see how that shit go. Yeah, make demands. Yeah, make your demands. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, we'll give you 20. You wanted 14, we'll give you 20. Oh, but it's not coming the way that you thought. I appreciated him as a character, how he was in the council scenes, in terms of how he was respectful of all the voices, but also decisive and very kingly. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He
The
got the
one wife
benefit
John was out of
of
pocket.
well, I mean that's another undertone. You see what I'm saying? It was some white writing. You see what I'm saying? There was some white writing to go in there. So that's a little bit of the fuckery, okay? Um, his love for his mother. So a couple things I'll say. And I'll be
Yeah, no,
quiet.
that was a
Um,
beautiful scene when they
his
had the moment of connection. Him
right,
and
his love for his mother and his disdain for his brother's tyrannical leadership style.
yeah, when he was like, "Yeah, my brother sold my mother," I said, "Excuse
Yes,
me, that puts
yes,
Jay-Z to shame. That
yes,
nigga at least only sold his mom crack. Like you sold your
right,
whole mother
right,
into slavery,
right. So even with the mulatto, it was like
and you
same
crude ass."
thing with his mother. You see what I'm saying? So this was another response. You looking at, Mother Africa. You looking at coming home. You looking at coming back. You looking at righting the wrong for the betrayal that was done. You see what I'm saying? Like there was a grave error, a grave betrayal. The brother sold his mother. Black men selling out black women right now. It's right now, 2023. Like it's still happening right fucking now. Like how long are we gonna do that dumbass shit? You understand what I'm saying? So in the space, a way to make amends, to start a trail of redeeming, of retrieval, to stand up in that kind of sense. You see what I'm saying? Like I see the slogans and the t-shirts and shit, protect black women at all costs, but we ain't fucking doing it, yo. Like we're not doing it in the way that we supposed to do it. You see what I'm saying? And then when we vocal about it or do something about it, we got terms like simp. Like I wish a motherfucker would come into my cipher with the bullshit. You understand? Like, so that is not the space with the message that we sent. We got children, we got women, we got elders, we got tradition, we got family. Like, where are you? Is it just in word alone? Like I'm supposed to be the prove it, motherfucker. Like, you understand? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So in that instance, he already understood the sacrifices that his personal army that fought for him gave up. They gave up him. Matrilineally, his mother put him on the throne. His mother was the woman king. So she decided that he was going to be the next king. And knowing that these women could never be mothers, could never be wives. The sacrifice that went along with that to protect him, to serve the king, to serve the kingdom. And knowing that his male counterparts that was in his military got wives, they got families.
Yeah, they got people to go.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
they don't live in the palace. Like they have autonomy.
So looking at that, you know that there's some things that's there. You see what I'm saying? And then you got to look at the women that you love that's in your life too. At the same time, like you got these women that love you, that you love them. He was like, my love, my love, my love, my love. You understand? Like you know his character in real life. He took the real stances in the public. He ain't hide from that. Like, nah, I'm only for black women. Like, hey, that's how it worked. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he didn't shy away from it. So to see him in that likeness in the cinematic space after these stances, normally they're contrary. You see somebody acting some kind of way, and they don't live that kind of
and some shit that they don't actually live or embody.
Right.
Yeah.
So to see that, especially from that region, because you know that region is some other shit. You understand what I'm saying? So that, you know, marrying of the art and the life on the screen and in life. So these things are put together, and then there was some understanding about natural hair that didn't have to be, you know, negotiated or fought about or any of this other shit. You see what I'm saying? As we saw in other films that were supposed to be akin to this, that was wonderful. You know what I mean? So, you know, I went off on a moment, but you know, when it comes to mother, when it comes to daughter, when it comes to sister, when it comes to niece, you see what I'm saying? When it comes to our sisters, look, fuck off. You know, fuck that. You understand? Like that's what's real. That's a part that it ain't enough of that. You see what I'm saying? So for everyone who got the shirt and the t-shirt, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, I need to see some action in the real life. See what I'm saying?
No, that's super real.
Let me yield back to you because I know you got some notes and you know what I'm
saying? Yeah, no, I'm 110% there. I didn't even, you know, like I'm still fresh off of my interpretation. And I did think that the moment with him and like, yo, I got people looking for my moms right now. You know what I'm saying? And then like the moment of, you know, catharsis that he had with the other boy where he was like, yo, I just buried my mom and that's why I'm here. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it just proves how it was a great illustration of how the ancestors put us in certain places and how like destiny aligns for stuff to just happen. Because like, for better or for worse, with him being the mulatto savior, he used his privilege effectively. Like, if we're always asking people to use their privilege and be a good ally and use that shit effectively, like his mom, he might have just been there just to shave Shorty's life. Like, it might not have even been about him and his own internal reckoning. And I'm sure, you know, that was elements of it, because he realized that he loved Black women. Like, he realized lots of things about himself in that point in time. But yeah, I'm sorry. The last scenes just popped into my head. And when I tell you the whole movie could have just been like the last couple scenes, like the whole movie could have just been when she go jog out and she by herself and the nigga go look at her past and everything. And then all of a sudden she look up, she hear footsteps, she look up, and it's all niggas behind her. It's single file
squad.
too.
Okay, the squad is like, yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the
What,
squad
you thought he
is
was
like,
gonna let you ride out by yourself?
like, yeah, my man just gonna have to kill us all. You understand? Like, my man just have it go. Like, he gonna kill all of us. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we riding with our general. You see what I'm saying? We riding with our general. Like, this is how this whole experience is built up to be. You know what I mean? Like, they sort of, like, even in the interviews, there's a way in the interviews, how the interviews are conducted, to where my man is like, I'm king. I ain't got to really say shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just in the cut. Like, he in the cut, literally, like, then they ask him something like, yo, I just wanted to be here with Viola. Or, you know, I'm here with this. This is to defer back to them, like, boom, like, this is a moment of glory. You see what I'm saying? And I had some ill shit with Viola, you know what I'm saying, in the past. And then I heard some of the interviews. And when she said, when she wanted to come into the screen, she wanted to come into the acting world, she said her number one inspiration was Cicely Tyson. She said, I just wanted to be something like Mrs. Tyson. That's and I don't got no more shit to say. I ain't got no more shit to say after that. You understand? Like I understand that, what that means. You see what I'm saying? And then iconically, you put yourself in position to be able to do what you need
to do those roles. One of my
for the next
what did J.
generation.
Cole say in that song? He's like, my only regret was too young for Lisa Bonet. Well, my only regret is that I'm not on right now because I'm not in that fucking movie. There's an alternate reality where I'm in that movie, and it's a very happy alternate reality. I might visit there in my dream tonight. Or I might visit the realm where I actually was doing that shit. That might also be a good one to visit. But yeah, I understand. Because there are certain roles that you never really get to see Black women in. And for better or for worse, Viola Davis is an incredible actress in terms of how she puts all of her being into whatever character. And like, I've had stuff of hers that I didn't like. Like, I didn't watch How to Get Away with Murder. I think I watched like the first episode and I was like, oh, I don't like any of these characters. They're all terrible people. I will not be watching this shit. But yeah, I'm saying, like, it's nuanced. And I think that's dope that you kind of have to see why people do things before you can fully judge the scope. Like, what was your inspiration? Like, what was the blueprint that you're working from? You know what I'm saying? Because intent matters. Intent matters a lot. And I think that intentionally she has done some good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, back to the last scene. All right, since we
background, right? You got the background information that went into it. You see what I'm saying? Like, the background information that went into it, the research that was done, all of the intricacies, like the small details that went into, okay, we honoring this in this way, honoring this in this way, we honoring this in this way. Okay, we're gonna get this started. How many people are gonna look at an African tradition because of that? Wherever it leads them, however it leads them.
And
You see
she's
what
like,
I'm
"What
saying?
for once your nuts were right and shit." Like, I
Right.
appreciated that. Like, she had that kind of like dynamic with spirit, but that was also a virtue of her hurt. You know what I'm saying? That was also a virtue of her suppressing a lot of her pain and divine feminine elements because of her trauma and everything. And notice that after that, the girl had to basically like yell at her, be like, "Yo, go give something to the ancestors. If you want to prevent like this dream and like the warning and shit, like you need to go feed these niggas." And she was like, "Ah." But then at the end, when she was in more of a healed space, she was like, "No, we gonna get a homie. We gonna give Zoge her whiskey and shit." Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was voluntary. Nobody had to tell her to do it because she was just in a different space within herself where she wasn't mad at the creator no more. Like, she had gone through that journey of forgiving herself, you know, forgiving the child, like the whole self-healing, you know, journey where you have to be like, "Yo, like these are the things that I did to survive and the parts of me that I had to shed." But that's what Sankofa is about. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you got to go back and gather that shit up. Like, no, you couldn't have brought it with you for that journey. She couldn't have been the soft person that she was at the end of the movie in all of the culmination up to that, or even the shit that happened before, like when it was coups going on and when she had to work her way up to being general after being like ousted and going through that shit. She couldn't have been in that energy. So it was like, you know, she had to suppress that part of her in order to survive, which is a lot of response to trauma. People suppress like memories, people suppress whole dynamics because like they're like, "I can't deal with it right now." But I like that she got to deal with it in the space and time of the movie, and so like have that heal her relationship with spirits, because you can see it in terms of her and when she would have never been at the end of the movie. So like her healing her divine feminine elements and that leading her back to a closer relationship with the ancestors and with, you know, the divine was beautiful. Because when the shorty was like, "Oh, the spirits aren't that cruel," I said, yes, the fuck they are. They love irony. They love fucking irony. They will irony your ass in a second. It'll be like a perfect storm of shit. And you'll just be like, "It can't be this person who I fought with." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but life really does fucking happen that way. So I like that
And
they
this is
go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I
no,
want
no.
you
I
to
was just
finish.
gonna say I like that they did that shit. That shit was some fly shit because life really do work like that.
Right. And again, we go from the thinking we're uninitiated to the initiated space. You see what I'm saying? Especially coming from the diaspora and the shame that comes along with it. So there's a story that's there that's our sojourn, us being so disjointed, us being so disconnected, you know, from the mother and from the girl. You see what I'm saying? From the young girl, like definitely with the young girl, like her space, her remarks to her mother from the beginning. You see what I'm saying? Like that, like I just see, you know, like she looked at her like she was weak, and she looked at her like she was weak. So what's our relationship with our cultural identity? How do we truly see ourselves? You see what I'm saying? So we lost that. You know, we felt abandoned, we felt left, we felt the product of rape because they raped Africa, they raped and pillaged Africa and stole us. You understand what I'm saying? So that kidnapping, that thievery, that rape, and all of the things that we were subjected to with the stepfather situation, the wicked stepmother situation, the experimentation that's called America. You understand what I'm saying? All of
Uh-huh.
these things have a significance. So we get ousted. You see what I'm saying? We get ousted into a way of life where we have to be warriors, not being groomed up for warriorhood. You see what I'm saying? How many young brothers and sisters is out here on the murder line? You understand what I'm saying? with no proper training, no proper guidance, no insight, no nothing, just in the space of self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
How many slavers out here right now still after our people? You see what I'm saying? All of these things that are real life. Like, I don't give a fuck about a movie if I can't pull and extrapolate things that I can point to in real life. That's the only reason why I use them. You see what I'm saying? Like, where's the
That's what they're
significance
for,
in
technically.
real
Yeah.
life? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's the significance of it in real life? Like, do we see this right now? You see what I'm saying? So that time and that ingenuity, because you came up with, by the sting of the lash, you're not comfortable. You see what I'm saying? This is why they show Inchidaka in the way that they show him. You see what I'm saying? Because he wasn't comfortable. That's the first fucking thing he said when he walked up in there. He looking around. He's like, yo, y'all look mad comfortable up in here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm about to go to work. I'm going to get rid of this motherfucker. We're going to go to work. That's it. It wasn't no grandiose. I'm sitting here and I want to, you understand? Like, so with the mother of the nation, you see what I'm saying? The mother of the nation to redeem his mother and every other mother who was stolen, every other mother that was betrayed. Now, try it with this one, who had the military might, but the ancient maternal wisdom to mother the nation along, that the king respected. You see what I'm saying? Who could sit in the seat that his mother sat in. In South Africa, in Azania, in the space where Shaka Zulu sat under his mother, the woman king.
And this is the thing.
Like,
this is and this is the thing. That's why I want to get into this last scene. Cause like, not the last scene, but the scene where they decide that they gonna go and where she was like, burn this whole bitch down. And I got a chill. I got like a chill. My body said, oh. And then like it was just that whole the whole movie could have started there. Like if the movie had just started with her being like, burn this whole shit down. I didn't need to know what the fuck was happening. It would have still gotten a 10 out of 10 for me because whoo. This might be TMI, but I'm just gonna honestly share my reaction. So it was two scenes in that scene that struck me particularly hard. When the bull took the fire to the slave platform, and he very intentionally took the fire to the platform where they stood the people and made them like, that was something. Like ritualistically seeing that shit was a thing. Also, okay, there's two more scenes. I'm a culminate with the absolute best one. The one where Malik finally chose a fucking side, where he was like, the homie was like still trying to get his last little bit of cargo and shit. He's like, come on, I got this gun. Like, it was just such a white man grasping at straws for control. It was so symbolic of all of the things, and you think that like you have this nigga because like he grew up with y'all and everything, and so like now he just going like, let you fucking take these brown people and like take them on the boat. And like I appreciated that even though he couldn't kill his friend, he ain't try to stop these niggas. I appreciated that. He was like, I respect why you have beef with him and why he has to die. When I saw him grab the knife, I wish that he would have stabbed him. My first thought was like, oh, he about to knife this nigga, but he didn't. He freed everybody else, and they drowned him. But the fact that they even drowned him, and like the symbolic when he first came up and he grabbed the land like he owned it, and then they drowned him in that shit in the fucking, not even in the water, in the silty, sandy quicksand.
Beat the fuck out of him. You understand? After they beat the fuck out of him. Yeah, let's not act like they ain't put hands and feet on this motherfucker.
They stomped him out.
And left his dusty, disgusting, lifeless ass bastard body in the water where he was trying to get out. Like, yeah, you get out this way. You don't get out the other way.
Shallow water too. You ain't even make it deep, nigga. You don't even get to be like our ancestors and face the sharks. Nah, bitch. Face this tide pool. Face in the tide pool with your bitch ass. That was Chef's kiss. And I don't know what that nigga went and did, but hopefully he stayed in Africa. Look, the niggas was like, come on, we gotta go. So he had niggas to go with. Niggas was trying to recruit him. They was like, oh, you squad now. Come on, we out. Good looks, my nigga. Get in the boat. Like, shorty not coming. Get in the boat. But so Amenza being the spiritual leader, when she was walking up that corridor, Nate Dogg and Warren G regulating, and she was like, nigga with the spear, chuck the spear. Then when I seen it when they pick up the shackles, something in my brain said, ooh, and I didn't know why. When she hit this nigga with the shackle and then wrapped it around her fist and punched him out with it, I almost came. I had an orgasm, like very close to us, like very close. I told you it was going to be TMI, but very close. I was like, oh God, I think I just had the vapors. Like, I didn't know that I needed to see that. But it was something about the fact that it was the shackle. And I've seen them bitches and they heavy and they iron, bro. Like, they not like steel or like, you know, these fucking lightweight, ultra strong metals that we've got now. No, that shit was fucking, it wasn't even brass. Like, that shit was fucking iron. So when she swung that shit and hit that nigga, ooh, I got chills. I was like, oh yes, just rewatch this scene. I might just rewatch that scene. Just put that scene on loop. I actually have plans for that scene in for like future video usage and shit. I got a song that's going to complement those visuals well.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I knew our scenes was the same. Okay, I knew. I just, you know what I'm saying. I was like, let me just wait and see what develops. I don't want to just jump ahead and be like that because, you know, yes, I know I've seen.
No, it was right that we built up to it, because that shit, it was the culmination of the film for me. Like, they could have went to black after that nigga blacked out. The movie could have ended, and I would have, like, the movie could have just been a short of them just fucking these niggas up. It could have just been like started when she was like, burn it all, and then ended when she punched this nigga out, and I'd have been like, this is the best short film I've ever seen. It would have been like our Birth of a Nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, best 5 minutes of my life.
The bonus scene, though, I don't get away from the bonus scene. The bonus scene is culminating. Not after the credits roll, I'm saying the bonus scene. The bonus scene is you was on the side of them. You see what I'm saying? You was on the side of them. So the last scene I get to see is your motherfucking ass meeting your demise by my hand. So this is where you came from. Both of your lineages, like you was, it don't matter. You out of here. So she take homie out, and then her daughters side by side with the mama, and they get busy. Daughter got busy, like, chill, man, I got this.
Yo, that was
chill, man, I got this. I'm like, yeah.
I don't want children, but that scene almost made me want to procreate. That scene almost made me want to procreate.
Like, look at the illness of it all. Like, this is the diaspora coming back for mama. Like, nah, chill, chill. Let me show you what I learned. Let me show you what I learned. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so, like,
and it was also a contract.
All of the scenes, everything. Like, so with the brother going, because you know they had a lot of shit to say about the brothers. They were subservient under this woman and all this other shit. They already understood what it was. They understood what it was. So they wasn't agreeable. He was the general over there. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't agreeable, but they agreed about their enemy. That was perfect. And when it came time to do what needed to do, everybody did what they needed to do.
And I appreciated that because it was different than Black Panther. Because in Black Panther, when it came down to it, these niggas had internal beef. even though people don't give that the like, oh, like, you know, emasculation of the black man, but I hated that character. The dude who was the leader of the male army in fucking Wakanda, and he was like about to fight his woman over over this shit. Like, bro, like that's not how things are done at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciated that at the end of the day, they were back to back on certain things. Like when the slaver bull rode up and he was like, this nigga is too big for his britches. And she said, look at us agreeing and shit.
Right.
Look at this.
And that was the thing. You see what I'm saying? One didn't let that other thing, like he ain't staying. He was rolling. You see what I'm saying? Like he rolling and then going to this place. Like, you know what this place was. This was the point of no return. This was Gory Island. This was all of the instances in real life. You see what I'm saying? Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Like, okay, this is getting sparked in the mind. Like, fuck this. Like, destroy this bitch. Destroy the throne. Destroy this motherfucking false sense of security. Fuck that. Like, every moment of that, like all of it, all together, like boom. So all of that happens, and then now she goes back and she looked like she about to resign. You know what I'm saying? She's like,
the shorty sitting there like she won. Shantae sitting there like she won with all the cowrie shells in the country in her hair.
Right. Yeah, and that's the fake shit to where let's see some discontent in here and shroud this and act like, oh, okay, this is how they truly are. You see what I'm saying? With each other. It ain't our fault. Like, see, we're out of the picture and they're still like this with one another. Like, that's the bullshit. You see what I'm saying? That's the bullshit that's right there. You see what I'm saying?
I will say, as a woman, women be like that. Some women just be wild haters. And like, I felt a realism there. Because not all of the wives was wild haters. It's not like they was all like ganged up against her and we back? Are we still here? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I hopefully Boren makes it back, but yeah, some women be wild haters sometimes, and I don't know. I can't say whether that's
You hear me?
No, what'd you say?
No. I just wanted to make sure that you could actually hear me.
I can hear you now. Yeah. I found that part to be accurate because it's not like all the wives were didn't like her, and it's not like it was all like it wasn't all the wives tripping or all the wives having beef with each other. It was just the one shorty, and sometimes it do just be one person who's like a little bit extra. So I don't know.
Look who she was resorting with, though. Is what I'm saying. Like this is what it is. That it wasn't on her own. It wasn't from her own volition. You see what I'm saying? It was seeded into her mind, but it make it look like she had this master plan. You understand? Like it was
what do you mean?
Seeded in her mind.
Seeded into her mind.
She was dealing with the slaver dude and the eunuch. You see what I'm saying? So they were trying to find a way to continue to have her kind of like pillow talk him and coax him into keep on doing what he was walking away from.
That's interesting. I didn't get the impression. Now, mind you, I only saw it once, but I didn't get the impression that her and the eunuch were on the same side. When her and the eunuch both came to the king with the thing, I felt like the eunuch was on Viola's side. Like I felt like he was arguing for her because he was like, yo, like shorty is being messy was essentially where he was coming from. And he was like, don't switch nothing up. And she was like, no. He was like, yeah, like postpone the feast until they get back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what's going to happen. And I felt like that was more of a place of reverence. Whereas I felt like the shorty was trying to maneuver and put like stuff in his ear and be
double talk, right? See, this is double talk because they both was meeting with the slaver dude. You see what I'm saying? They're both with me.
Now, see, I'm not recalling that. I gotta go back and
Go
do
back and
a
check it out.
do a rewatch because I don't remember them consorting with the. Oh, I do remember her talking to the bull. I remember the bull being like, "Oh, your wife said this and your wife said that," but I don't remember them all being in cahoots.
Yeah.
So I think it might have just been her, and like that's another aspect of divine feminine energy that like some chicks do get into that
That's
dark
the
female energy where they're like, I'm gonna manipulate this shit. I'm gonna sit
look
back
at the
here and
double
use this
card.
pussy power
So
and fucking.
she looks like she's just outrageous and with it, and she's trying to get it by any means necessary. This is how they painting her.
Well, no,
And
I don't think they were trying to paint her that way because I think that what Viola said about her in her assessment was truly accurate. You just want to be comfortable. You just want to be rich and cute. And whatever you got to do to stay rich and cute is what you going to do. Like, I don't think that she really wanted him like in a fucked up position. I don't think that that's what they were trying to push. I think that they were just like, she don't really have no morals. She was not morally sound. She was just like, we can keep selling niggas. I mean, it's not that bad. Was kind of like, too much change too fast is what I told my husband type of deal. So what I got from that is not that she was like on some super malicious trying to overthrow this nigga or anything, but just like she liked being the top wife and she liked getting the most attention and like she liked all of the comforts, the creature comforts that came with trading with Europeans and so forth. And she wanted to maintain that. And that is a thing that I see from a lot of Black women contemporarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that might be a virtue of trauma in its own self in the diaspora and all of the things, but is chicks like that. So I didn't necessarily see that as like super contrived because like literally I have lived situations where you just being great and bitches just be like, this other people you for being great. I don't like that shit. I'm gonna drop a dime on it. Like that is a whole genre of human being and it's not exclusive to women. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen it with my own eyes.
I'm with you. Yeah, I didn't want to tarry that far on that. I was just saying that there's some nuances at work on purpose. Maybe if you go back and check it out again, you'll
no,
see.
I'm gonna definitely give it another gander. And maybe I was just a little bit biased against Shorty. Who knows? But none of the other wives was on that type time. They was all doing the speak when spoken to. They was minding their business. They was go talk to her. They was counseling the bitch, talking her down off the ledge after she's storming out and stuff. So like, I don't. It wasn't the wives in general. Like I even expected the light skinned chick who like when he showed when she was on the way, it was like a good on you. Like you know what I'm saying like. But I think that as a woman, my perspective would be that that's an aspect of feminine energy that was also represented. Like we had like the wounded child, we had like the mother. We didn't really get any like Black female elder energy per se, but we definitely had like the wounded child, like the whole redemption in that aspect. And just like the warrior energy, the softer energy, the way that softer energies can be corrupted, the way that harder energies can be corrupted and everything. I also thought that it was really interesting with everybody's like assessments of the shit that there was like no undercurrents of lesbianism. I was expecting at least 2 shorties to kiss for how everybody was fucking like, oh, it's horrible and women wanting to be men and shit. Like I was expecting at least a smooch, at least a lingering glance, at least somebody sneaking into somebody's hut or something. But I like that they kept it out of that realm. Like they didn't put that into it in a world where they're quick to put that into lots of movies in the guise of like representation. And I'm sure somebody could have made an argument. Like I'm sure there was at least one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that they kept it sisterly. They kept it in that type of energy space and vibe. It wasn't like, yeah, they be back there fucking. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that at all. And I respected that. I thought that was hella like wholesome.
I think Amenza kind of took the elder role.
That's true. I could, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she told her, she's like, yo, you don't talk to me like that, saying like don't get it fucked up, saying like, yo, you the general, but don't get it fucked up out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, don't talk to me like that. Like you fucked that up, saying. You know what I'm saying? This we had a plan and you did some other shit. Like you ain't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like shorty saved the day and don't get on no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like so it was and yeah, I think the overall the end part in regards to like that Pan-African message that was sent that I hadn't seen in a movie.
I was about to say, and I like
time.
Give that speech. I like that he was the one to deliver it.
Right.
Because it wasn't like, oh, Viola came back and just took full control of the shit and gave the ending speech. Like she was like, she came back and deferred to the king and was like, yo, if you don't want me to be in charge no more, I'm ready to take that L. And she was really ready to hold that. She didn't come back like, what you gonna do, nigga? You hear them chanting my name like, nigga, get down or lay down. Like she could have been on that type time. In the way that people were portraying the movie, I was expecting her to be more like rah, like right at this nigga, or, you know, like something like that. But the fact that she was just like, yo, it's whatever you say. And the fact that he was the one to give the speech, and the speech was hella powerful. But it was the speech of a king, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what kings do. He's a politician. You get what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's a little bit different when it's feudal, but like politics is politics. So we had to go and give the, you know, the rousing speech. And to be like, yo, like, we not finna do this no more. We moving out of slavery. Like, it announced the plan for the year. Like, we're not doing this. We off that. We on this. Like, this is the vision for the nation. Big ups to Shorty. Big ups to all of us. And when he was like, look them in their faces, I thought that was like a dope moment too, because it marked like kind of a delineation in terms of like them no longer being like this secret like fighting force, like with her legitimacy as like woman king. It kind of like brought them out of the shadows a little bit. Because you saw at the beginning, it was like, I heard they boil the heads and drink from the skulls and shit. Like, these niggas had all sorts of folklore and myths and like, urban
legends. No, those are skulls. Don't get it twisted. Motherfuckers got killed and some skulls up there, but we ain't drinking out of skulls.
I'm about to say, no, we don't, that's unsanitary. We don't know where those, we don't know what, don't know what was going on in these niggas' crown chakras, and we're just drinking from them. No, thank you. That's definitely a way to get haunted. Fucking, would you like to be haunted? Because that's how you get haunted. But yeah, like I said, I definitely had some issues with like the undercurrents of like the male versus female dynamics, like. I thought the one scene where they had the male warriors versus the female warriors with that, like, who can take the pain type of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, walk you down when they was doing that. It was like a football drill. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it kind of gave me offense versus defense in terms of like the football analogies. But I thought that it could have done without that, because that just seemed like overkill to show like, we be shitting on these niggas. But for Izoge's character development and for you to know who she was, that was a powerful scene. But it could have been illustrated in a different way that didn't have to be like it could have shown her power without contrasting it. Not like I'm stronger than this man, but just like I'm strong. Like, you know what I'm saying? They could have had some shit with them hunting, or like, you know what I'm saying, lions, or like, you know what I'm saying, something that was more of a natural type of thing, as opposed to like that adversarial energy that was kind of cultivated. But then I'm sure that that's probably somewhat accurate, because warriors are competitive by nature, and they was having tiffs within each other, being like, yeah, bitch, I'll fuck you up. Catch me, try to catch me slipping. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like,
And then adding, just thinking about, Shorty as the general, you have to see all of the women and how they made their way. Nobody's just there like, you couldn't kiss your ass to make way. Like, you had to make your way to make your way. Like, Shorty was like, okay, I'm looking to do this. Shorty looking to do this. It wasn't a thing where they was in competition with one another for the next position. It was everybody was being dutiful and showing themselves in every instance to earn their way, because they seen their general earn their way. You see what I'm saying? Like, they've been in there since they was young. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying?
a merit-based system. It wasn't about like superficial shit. It's like, what do you bring to the table? Can you execute? Like, because that's what the fuck we care about here. And
this is what the eunuch was saying to her, like why he got respect for her like that. Like, yo, like, then he told her the story, like, yo, she fought for him. You know what I mean? Like,
what
put
did
him in
you do,
position.
bitch?
Like,
Hide in the cupboard?
like, who was you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so
And
yeah, so
maybe
it's a
that's
different
why
thing.
were on Viola's side. Like, I thought that like that scene kind of set the precedent in my brain that he was kind of adversarial with the Shantae chick. Like, because he checked her. Because he's like, shorty, who are you even? You just got here. You cute and all, but you just finna be cute. If some shit go down, you not finna bust a grape in this fruit fight. So like, stay in your place. Like you're saying, like,
yeah. So that's the slick version of the double talk. Like, it looked like, and that's how, the devil was talking to Malik and shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, you should be glad that you on this side and you're not on the auction block type of shit. You see what I'm saying? So
killed that nigga. I think I let that nigga die.
Right. So it's the same kind. Like, he didn't know who he was talking to. You see what I'm saying? He didn't know who he was talking to until then. You know what I mean? Like, and even with the shit with the general for the other side, the old dude from Oya, like, they could have killed them cracker motherfuckers and dumped all their bodies in. They could have killed the fuck out of them. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was pissed and he was like, "You'll get your cargo," type of shit. Like, he was not with it, but he was with it at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Like, they showed a contrast. You see what I'm saying? Like, literally. And he loved his brothers he was with. You see what I'm saying? Like, he seen them getting their ass whooped. They took too many casualties. He said, retreat. It wasn't no, like,
yeah,
he
he
was
didn't have
describing
that
in that.
European general
Yeah, nah, it
mindset
wasn't
where
none
he's
of
like,
that
I'm
shit.
above my soldiers type of deal. Like, these niggas are beneath me. They could just die and it don't matter. I liked that. Like, I spoke on that earlier, the reverence for life, in terms of how it was very reflective of how indigenous people conduct warfare. Because it wasn't just like, get out there and fight. Still, it's like, nigga, we are losing. Like, they got us this time. Yeah. So yeah, I could have done with less of the male versus female dynamics. I could have done with more scenes of them fighting slavers as opposed to each other. But all in all, I kind of got my life a little bit. I kind of got my life. I have to go back into my space of like, I will not go start MMA training and start fighting UFC. I will not. Because like all of my warrior urges just got super charged up with that shit. I'm gonna be at the gym tomorrow and shit, just like on the treadmill, just running and shit. Like the oil will catch you. That's what I'm gonna hear in my mind every time I'm fucking doing something cardio and I'm slowing down. I'll just be like biking on a bike, the stationary bike, and they'll be like, the oil will catch you. And I'm like, dig deeper. So I found it cathartic from.
What's the overall ancestral message? You know, you said the ancestors got bars for us. What's the bars?
The overall ancestor message is that that movie was very much about the redemption and the healing of the divine feminine energy in light of overwhelming trauma. And it was the first time I've seen that dealt with in an empowering way. Because normally when you get that shit, it'd be like The Color Purple type of deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where they're like, oh, look at how these women survived. And like surviving is cool, but thriving is better. And at the end, they didn't just survive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they were thriving. They won. They was at the joint dancing. Her like they called mother and daughter.
He had an episode in high school because he used to have his favorite hoodie he used to wear. And the kid was like, ain't your fault, man. You always wear that same hoodie.
What's that? All right. Yeah, so like they called each other mother and daughter for the first time. When she was like, "Mother, will you come and dance?" and everything, like it was very much a like finding your joy at the end of like at the end of trauma, at the end of hardship, on the other side of healing. Like, you know what I'm saying, can be you letting your guard down, can be you softening in ways that you didn't know. When she was like, you know, that dream, the animal that I was fearing was me. And even like, you know, that's like the whole shadow side rectification that is so important to the healing journey. Like I said, with that Sankofa, you know, that reaching back and gathering the disparate parts of yourself that you have had to discard or that have been ripped from you, and to make yourself whole again. I felt was a very powerful aspect of that film. And for her to get to kill her rapist, like, you know what I'm saying? Because did they kill the boy in The Color Purple? I don't know. I've only seen it fucking once, and that was against my will. So like, I wasn't really paying attention. But I don't think they killed that nigga. I think he just died or something. Like they just leave him to die. Like, no, like, and that's cool and all, because, you know, like karma does its own thing. But it's also different when you get to fucking, you know what I'm saying, get your lick back. It was a very much a get your lick back type of energy, but in a healing space. Not like get your lick back, but still be hurt and damaged. Get your lick back, and then also do the internal work and the facing yourself and all of the things, and then be like, all right, now I'm good. Now we just worried about us. What we doing? What we building from here? But that's what we need as a people. You know what I'm saying? Like that would do everybody a world of good if everybody could just get their lick backs against whoever hurt them. You know what I'm saying? And not that I'm advocating, you know, any sort of violence, but even just to confront the person. Like when she was like, you don't remember me, but now you'll never fucking forget this shit. For like, you know what I'm saying? And just how powerful memory is. And, Yeah. So I think that the overall ancestral message would be Sankofa. You know, sometimes you got to go back to move forward. And she had to go back and get her daughter. She had to go back to basically metaphorically when she left her the first time. Like I was saying, like she already done left the baby once. She wasn't finna do it again. She was like, fool me one time, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice. You know what I'm saying? You won't get fooled again. Whatever George Bush said. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so definitely a healing of the divine feminine archetype and just and a mother-daughter story also. Like very much a mother-daughter story about how that's the thing that happens. How like there's a period in time where there's this adversarial relationship because the daughter's trying to find herself and the mother's trying to guide her and lead her, and that naturally leads to like the butting of heads, but how they were able to see each other at the end and have that mutual respect and have that mutual affection. Based on like being like, oh, I see you wasn't trying to come at me, you was just trying to find your way. And then the daughter being like, oh, I see you wasn't trying to like squash me, you was just trying to keep shit together and in order. And the maturing of the relationship to be able for them to get to that point, I felt like as, you know, as a Black woman with like, you know, having seen adversarial mother-daughter dynamics, I thought that was super cathartic because they could have had beef forever. Like the moment when Shorty was looking back at the nigga on the shore and Viola was sitting there looking at her and then just walked off, like she could have reprimanded her. Like, I told you that we don't do this and why you looking at, like, she still could have been in an angry space trying to like come at her with that type of energy. But because she was in a healed space within herself and because she saw Shorty and who she was just like, yo, this is your decision to make. If you want to go with him, I'm not finna stop you, but I'm also not finna try to convince you to stay. Like, it is up to you. She let her self-determine at that point. And I felt like that was very beautiful just in terms of the trust and the dynamic that they had built. So lots of good elements in terms of just archetypal matriarchal energy, because so many of our ancestors never got to get to those spaces of healing with their mothers, and, you know, mothers not liking kids because they look like, you know, a parent who did them wrong, and just like all of that, I feel like was kind of symbolically, they did a good job of trying to symbolically heal those things, and not only heal them, but show you a blueprint of how you heal it. Like, yeah, you might need to go get some divination and see what the fuck the issue is. And then you might have to give your ancestors some offerings. And then you might have to fucking go and like do some self-exploration and sit with yourself and be like, yo, there are parts of me that I don't like. There are parts of me that I have been neglecting or not feeding and not, you know, respecting because of whatever insert trauma. And then to go Sankofa back, forgive those parts of yourself, and do the tangible things that you need to do to make amends. Because if she hadn't gone back and got the girl and went and at least tried to go get her, she wouldn't have been able to be right ever again. Like, she'd have been more fucked up than she was at the beginning. So it wasn't so much even just about like the mental work, but like, no, because you have to back it up with tangible actions and changed behavior. Because before, she would have never done that. You heard what she said to the girl, like, you got to kill your tears to be a warrior. But she very much was like, no, like, I'm doing this from a space of love. And that was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's the part. If the ancestors liked parts, that was the parts that they liked. That's what I would say. At least my ancestors. I can't speak for nobody else's, but mine's just like, Oh, look at that. I told you. I told you that scene where the daughter, like where she just killed the bull, and then the daughter was like came out and started whooping ass and shit, and then walked back over and gave her the machete back. I was just like, I would have a child if I could like guarantee that they would be like this, if I could guarantee that they would be a chip off the old block. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would totally do it. But I'm actually completely convinced that if I was to procreate, my daughter would just be like the girliest, pinkest, frilliest thing. And I'd just be like, here, mom, it's the daughter you always run it. Raise her. Because I can't help her. I can't help Shorty. I don't know what to do. Everything's glitter. I can't help.
Glitter.
And I think that there probably would have been more conflict if they didn't see so much of themselves in each other. But that's usually how it is. Like when she was like, you're arrogant. And she was like, bitch, you arrogant. The fuck, I've earned the right to be arrogant. I'm a fucking general. Who are you? When did you get here? Type of deal. But it's often the things that we don't like about ourselves that we find triggering in other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like when that nigga do that. And it's like, well, you do the same thing. Yeah, but it's different when I do it. I do it better, nicer, with finesse. Because she didn't deny that she was arrogant. She was like, yes, but I've earned it, little shorty.
Youngin, little youngin.
But yeah, so that was the meat that I chewed, that my spirit felt catharsis with, because it's hard. Like the mother-daughter dynamic is hard, and I'm sure the father-son dynamic is hard, but I don't know nothing about it. I've never been a boy, I've never been a dad, I've never been a son, but I can speak to daughter dynamic, and that shit is hard and fraught with tension and all sorts of things. So it was nice to see them be able to like get there and get there based on legitimate healing, and not just like lip service, and not just like, you know, one person's spirit being broken and then like them just going along with like what the other person says. They really, like I said, saw each other and had this moment of like, nah, like I respect you. I respect you too. Okay. Solid. I trust you. You not the knucklehead I thought you was. And it's like, yeah, and you not the dickhead I thought you was. Nice.
You came back for me. We're gonna fight together. That's it. Shed blood. Yeah, I mean,
because what brings a family closer than killing slavers?
That's my family.
I'm dreaming.
That's why we so good. For real. So final thoughts from you.
My brain is silly because I thought about Jerry Springer and what he used to always say, be like, be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Some shit like that. I don't know. Final thoughts. Put your if your daughters show any inclination towards fighting and shit, put her in some combat sports. Would be my thing. Put her in some gymnastics, get her flipping and shit on. Because one of the shorties who was actually in the movie, like that's what she do. Like I follow her on Instagram, and she be out there with swords and shit doing, like she be doing the fight choreography from the movie, but just like on her own and shit. So like I think that's needed and it's nuanced. You know what I'm saying? The final thoughts, just love each other. Black men, black women. Let's find the middle ground, because it don't gotta be adversarial. It don't gotta be adversarial amongst any of us, amongst any of the dynamics of Black people. If we just do our own internal healing, you'd be surprised the effects that has on the landscape of your life and of your relationships. What did Michael Jackson say? You got to start with that man in the mirror. She didn't go around to everybody else and be like, you got to fix this and you got to fix this. She sat with herself and was like, you know what, that dream, I be fucking up. I got to go and do this. And she didn't wait for the girl to come to her. Like, she went and initiated the conversation and she took the steps. She did the work on all of the levels. So do the work, but start here. Remove the speck from your own eye. You know what I'm saying? Before you go out here being like, or remove the splinter from your eye when you talk about the specks and other niggas, something like that.
Bars. Where can people find you? How can they collaborate? This is the season. I am at Imah X on all platforms. That is IMAHX. It's right there. Perfectly illustrated at the bottom of the screen. I be on Twitter talking my shit. I be on TikTok doing skits and stuff. Sometimes I'm funny. I do music. I do hair. I do lots of things. If you're in the New Orleans metropolitan area, holla at me because I be doing lots of things locally. And, you know, spirit is rich down here. So I'm always down to connect with like-minded folks. But hit me up. Let's build. I'm extremely personable. I'm extremely reachable. If you want to do an interview, if you want to do a collab, you want to make some music, you want to do an art collab, like we can let's create, let's build. You know what I'm saying? Let's create, let's build. And don't be on no bullshit because I'll cut your fucking head off fucking with my sister. Just facts. That's all we got to say. And vice versa. Vice versa. No. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
We are fortunate. The return of the black ancients. Ain't watered down, never gonna change shit. Upper echelon rap, high rank shit. Your black ass ain't invited to my banquet. Boom, guess who stepped up in the lobby? The empire crumbled like a cookie. Taraji, feeling so serious, beat like Anunnaki. Flow they can't copy, fire like wasabi. Nabi, I don't take selfies with them rabbit ears. I'm in my battle gear, bars out the stratosphere. See me rocking one ring like a cavalier. I spin the wheel my way, make magic appear. With the retro approach, the nice stay humble, see the best don't boast. I take them to the heights where the rest won't go. Since the 80s when the hood was on that Esco coat. This is for my grown ass milks, the seasoned queens, sophisticated mommies who achieving things. Kale smoothie in my cup, got the leafy greens. Woke niggas stay up while you sleep and dream. Rap Martians, black like carbon. Trouble man classic, track so Marvin. Other niggas rap about an Aston Martin. I'm an astrologer, this is astro jargon. Fun with it. Jupiter is in my 5th house. Sarcastic bars, I got the slick mouth. Chest poked out like I got a ripped blouse. Ex niggas so tight cause they missed out. Skin copper, voice tone opera. Slave reptilians like the logo for La Costa. 14 karat light gold like an Oscar. Never seen a person try to play me then prosper. Yo, I'm not the illest, well then I'm damn near. Nice since your pops was crushing on Pam Grier. Nice since Muhammad was yelling the chair's here. Since my last life on earth was Pangea. I dropped jewels like a diamond mine worker. And now they can't eat like a Ramadan observer. Got the beats, the bars, the brain, the beauty. Your little career, it got averted, no Uzi. Spin the wheel.
I want to like the wheel, like the wheel. Like the wheel, like the wheel. It's my chance to spin it. To like the wheel, like the wheel. I want to like the wheel, like the wheel. Spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it. To like the wheel, like the wheel. You can never take the calm before another man's actions. I'm smoking sour that's louder than Sam Jackson. With powder, my hands sliding with power you can't imagine. Truck at the wheel, they doubt it can't happen.
Hit a math, that algebra phantasm, like Tipsy on the New Year's Eve on Sam Adams. Your Genesis, you can't drive home like Pan-Africans. I got the key to mothership, is still running. Ouroboros alternators if the snakes is real cunning. The analemma Jesus take the wheel from them to they Pisces and desist from sleeping on this. Taurus is the target, ain't no reason to miss. Roll the window till your soul down, squeeze until I hit the center of the bullseye. Heater on my hip, barrel spin like ballerinas. Read the secrets in my lips. The pages that I'm reading wasn't even in your script. Extra bullets that I keep in the eclipse. The Grand Wizard Ty Phoenix is a witch. Magic wand drive by when they need another fix of that mystic magic. Just admit it, it's a classic. Slow motion when we dipping through the traffic. Pituitary gland make my vision cinematic. Circles in the sky wheels tell them why we leading. The spokes are the angels, the messages are a beacon. Bible in the sky, need a telescope to see them. The signs of the time, preaching lessons through the seasons. North, east, west, south, telling me the news. Billboard, star chart, excellent reviews. They be thinking they on fire when they never lit the fuse. It's what they gotta feel. We got that hotter pill. Zodiac rims in the center of the guava pill. Raise your octaves up, see how the hydraulics feel. Like a test drive, DMV exam. Divine motor vehicle, the body of Islam. Mars is the gas pedal, Saturn is the brake. We the navvy, learn to navigate the patterns of your fate. Take the scenic view, moving through your mind. 12 houses, 12 states, cruising through the signs. The tolls what you told when you move across the line. Told some sense for the fools to build bridges with. Wood grain, Zodiac tart, I'm still gripping it. Burning rubber, learn the numbers on the hovercraft. Zodiac dashboard, solar disc hubcap. Agree with the point, like I'm sticking up a thumbtack. It ain't a punchline, it's just a love tap. DJ's running back, let's run another lap. Around the human race, following the sun's tracks. And Ziggy, you be doing willies in the sky. Cause when it rains, they say the spirits have to cry. Each drop is a 9-part for light from the eye of God. When it lands, it makes a circle with rings. That's the butterfly effect. Even Mercury has wings, never crashed or the ass. What kind of miracle am I? Tiger in the next lane, science make your head strain. Yell it out till you popping out a neck vein. A couple 100,000 more hopping out of jets in Spain. Still advance, you think that the Jetsons came. Navigators rocking feathers made of stellar flames. Our rhetorics maintain the same appetite. Will of Force and Pat say facts and bear the mic. Bringing fire to the game back like candlelight. In the blackout, this history they can't rewrite. The cherry started blazing, they know I'm bars verbatim. My cancer cars amazing, we got them all for gates.
The fortune like the wind, like the wind, like the wind.
Every day is your day.
I want the fortune like the wind, like the wind, like the wind.
Spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it.
Like the wind, like the wind, like the wind.
Life's a wheel of fruition, fruition, fruition.
I want the fortune like the wind, like the wind, like the wind, like the wind, like the wind.
Yeah, so grooving, the rhythm is so moving. Being yourself is winning, there's no losing. Meditating, envision the stones moving. Levitating, these lyrics are so seducing. The planet is a planet is written, there's no choosing. Do what you can to rise and breathe excellence. The Holy Spirit, these rhymes is a deep testament. God regalia refine, my speech decadent. I got planets in my crown spinning. Like gems, we be dipping through your town, giving sharp bars that be ripping through your sound system. My skin tone, my bones draped in brown linen. I've been known to flow great and pound vixens. Superhero with gold cake.
Zodiac, priesthood, royal priesthood. Yeah, royal priesthood. At 86, the devil raised the bar, but I'm a hurdler. And I'm the good thief. I sneak in your toxic house to burglar.
The musical Merkaba came to set free the Lucifer worshippers. Like James Bond 007, the soul of an old legend. Negative energy murderer, good or evil, angel or demon interpreter. Kings with frankincense and myrrh, and perfumes anoint me soon as my birth occur. Like Ben-Hur, I'm indigenous to Gilgamesh. With brilliantness became the builders of the pyramids. Now we lost in American North wilderness. I became the force, a poor man's ventriloquist. On the island far away from home like Gilligan. Took us from our villages till we find our way back through resilience and our diligence. Through rags and wave caps, black fists look militant. In college remembrance, while living ignorance. Driving kids with innocence, dreams fly limitless. Straight towards the nebula, with cannon or the terror. Black boys face, we all in this together. I chase demons in my cape, my sword and my scepter. His brother Glow the Great, the lord of this era. Royal priesthood, gold plates and treasures. Anubis, my eye, weigh your heart against the feather. Carted Satan out your soul, lifting him out, he's on the stretcher. With my divine helicopter, with shocking propellers, outlines made of copper. The fortune teller, my dragon glows green like matcha. New York regalia, like Robin Walker is the prophet Walter. From the days of Iron Sheik versus Sergeant Slaughter. Blue around my garment borders, fringes, execute vengeance. Mathematics, Qurans and Taurus. Rock the head of Horus, rocks in the watch is gorgeous. Behind my will, it fell into the wheel, metamorphing. Start spinning clockwise and counterclockwise. On the outside, my car became a flying saucer, straight through the orbit.
Use my mind. Lose my mind. I will use my mind.
Yo, masquerade killer, Michael hijacked the sun, matinee thriller. Zombie apocalypse, a center for disease. Says my tracks are way iller. Isodrenochrome cubes keep they cabernet chiller. And thought is thought, they don't want you to think. Knowledge is power, shock the flowers, make my aura look pink. To know the ledge, godly hour, push your thoughts to the brink. You can't even close your eyes, become a corpse if you blink. Where the oracle sink, I was born in the Sphinx. Copper DNA necklace with historical links. Hiding poison in the food, in the water you drink. Cause they raised done and they just biding their time. Thought food the lost tube coming down on my mind. Stab you with a light ray cause you was dying to shine. Then I disappeared like a truth post in your IG. Holy Spirit dripping like a ghost in your IV. Can't deport them all, we was already here. So get in tune with the voices in the water right here. You don't see the embryo in the form of your ear. Invisible man, I made myself awfully clear. Royal priesthood, astrologies is lord of the spheres. Throwing platinum plates, you thought the flying saucers appeared. Yeah, they scared to wear their own face in the street. Deep elixirs, beast addicted to the taste of the sheep. On Harry Potter's wheel, the god knew to arrange my physique. Kai, Elohim, hemoglobin, the Arabian chic. 7 circles like the planets in the days of the week. Supreme math, solar facts in the language I speak. You brainwashed if you watching the news. Never make the wrong step when the law's in my shoes. The dream weaver make it seem there's no option to choose. Corona dope fiends, they be trying to nod. They in line to get shot, that's a fireman squad. Pharmaceutical, shoot to kill line with the gods. I cried for the angel babies that have died in the fog. Caught up in the crossfire like a panther in a Klan rally. Zodiac, they need these answers in my hands badly. Like palm readers, break dancers in the sand valley. I moonwalked on chemtrails in the sky. On the path to ancient Kemet, where the scales in my eyes. The sun and moon temple sitting on the side of my head. A million years I still remember every line that I said. Hermes Trismegistus, serve me the statistics. 99 attributes of Allah, 99% survival rate. Imagine the odds when you're the Neo, you're the one that made the patterns evolve. Another chapter to solve, why did Saturn revolve? Spinal column, I am Amen, climb the ladder to Oz. On a rocket to Nebula, the planet of the gods.
Use my mind. Lose my mind. I will use my mind. I won't lose my mind. Use my mind.
Musical math, get used to the craft. Use my mind, turn the mic to a Caduceus staff. Trying to fit these odd shapes in the box. Tetragrammaton, Tetris, see my face in the watch. Circle of life displayed in an arrangement of clocks. You can't be so diplomatic when you're breaking the locks. God Zodiac, Killer Priest, Wrong Priest.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? So no more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get back to the gritty.
Best developed by recognizing the common enemy.